So, at the time of recording here in the EU region, we are less than 24 hours away from Phase 5. Now, chances are, since you're watching a WoW video on YouTube, that you've probably watched some others, and you've probably been inundated with people talking about the Ankaraji war effort and the opening of the gates and making sure you get your Scarab Lord and things like that. But one of the things that people aren't really talking about is the tier 0.5 set that comes with this phase as well. Now, for those of you who aren't aware, tier 0.5 is the development of the tier 0 set that you get from high-end max level dungeons in WoW Classic, and essentially it's a questline that you can follow that enables you to upgrade the entirety of that set into a superior version. Now, this is often underrated by many because of the fact that you can gear up your characters in many other ways. By the time tier 0.5 came out originally, and again now in phase 5, a lot of people's characters are already geared beyond a point where they need this gear. But that's not to say that it doesn't have value. First of all, if you are lagging behind, you can obviously catch up with this gear substantially easier than you could trying to kit yourself out in gear from all of the raids that people are probably not going to be doing now that Ankaraj is going to be out. And also people have alts that they are wanting to be able to get gear on as well as the fact that many people simply just like some of their sets. The final grouping of people that are going to be wanting to get this tier 0.5 set are the people who are playing the classes that actually have this set be pretty fantastic for them. These sets are useful in terms of their bonuses for the vast majority of people, but some classes, rogues in particular that spring to mind, get some fantastic benefits from the set bonuses of these tier 0.05 sets. Now this means that given that the sets involve the acquisition of certain items to be able to acquire, that there is the potential to be making quite a lot of gold off of them. What I'm going to do now for you is I'm going to pop up on the screen all of the items that you are going to be needing to be able to complete the quest chain that upgrades the tier 0.0 sets to their tier 0.05 counterparts. Now, every item that I have listed here are the items that are purchasable that are needed for the questline. There is of course two more things that you are going to need in order to be able to do this questline if you are curious, if you're looking to do this for yourself to get some fantastic gear as opposed to selling and making a profit from people doing this. And that is the tier 0 set, the original from the dungeons, most of which is bind on pickup, but about 3 out of the 8 pieces per class are bind on equip, so they can also be bought and sold on the auction house as well. And I have got a video that I will link to here that does have a group within it for Trade Skill Master that is going to be looking for all of those sets and their BOE components. Moving on from that, all you're going to need is what is listed on the screen here, as well as quite a bit of gold. I believe it's going to be somewhere in about the 250 gold mark in raw gold that you'll need to be able to complete the quest. But on top of that, we are going to need 1 delicate arcanite converter, 10 stone scale oil, 4 greater eternal essence, 10 goblin rocket fuel, 3 dark iron bars, 3 mooncloth, 20 enchanted leather, 4 cured rugged hide, 9 large brilliant shards, 4 dark runes, 1 flask of supreme power and 3 abyssal crests. Now obviously that is quite a lot of things in quite a lot of varying quantities to acquire in advance for completing this quest, and that's going to be something that's going to be on a lot of people's minds. Now, to make this easier for people, I have included in the description a link to all of the group import string for all of these items that you are going to be able to simply copy and paste into your Trade Skill Master in game, and then assign whatever purchasing or auctioning operation you actually prefer to be able to scan for these items on your server and get them at a cheaper price. Now this is essentially just doing all of the legwork for you so then you can profit off of that work to be able to get some nice returns on your investment for acquiring these items. Now it is worth noting that a lot of these items many of you will already have in various different groups that you already have in your Trade Skill Master, and as a result, if you aren't interested in copying the entirety of these over and having the complete group, I have also listed on screen the item code that you will need to import an item into a group if you are looking to make your group not have a particular item, or let's say if there's just one or two you want to exclude. Let's say you wanted to exclude the cured rugged hides. Simply get the import string from the description and remove that particular item code that is listed next to that item. There is an alternative option to dismantling your groups in order to create one from the items that I have listed here for you, and that is that you could create an additional profile and then assign a character to that profile in TSM that could then be used solely for the purpose of using the auction house to acquire these items. Now, it is going to reduce some capacity for your groups to interact with one another because of the profile difference. However, if you don't want to destroy, let's say for example, your leatherworking group that already has the cured rugged hide in it, you could simply just make a new profile and have this group in its entirety working as intended, and then leave your characters that are already involved with your leatherworking and such on the original profile, and you can swap in and out of these profiles freely whenever you would like through TSM. Now, while we are discussing these items and the tier 0.05 set, there is one more thing that I would like to say, and that is that there is another way that you can make gold off of these items. If you are looking to acquire the tier 0.5 set for yourself in the quest line that will lead to ultimately you completing this chain, you will acquire some items that allow you to summon additional bosses in dungeons that are required for the completion of this quest chain. Now, these bosses, as well as being required to be defeated for the quest chain, do actually have their own loot tables, some of which are quite good. So it is potentially possible that you could sell your services as someone who has the item required to summon this boss to somebody who wants to run the dungeon in order to acquire an item that drops exclusively from that boss. So perhaps it's worth doing purely for that purpose also, although bear in mind there will be a lot of people that are doing this quest chain, so there will be competition out there who can summon these bosses for people, so you may not make an awful lot of gold due to the high competition levels that you will have. And in addition to that, it does require that you go through the process of paying all of the materials that we've just discussed and the gold and completion of a very long quest line, if I'm honest, in order to acquire this set for yourself. Probably not something you should do if you are looking purely to make the gold off of it, but if you have gone to go and get this set for other purposes and you find yourself with these items, it is something that you could potentially recoup some of your costs on if you were to do. Now that's going to about wrap it up for me today, guys. I do hope that you enjoyed this video. I have tried to keep it short and sweet for you. If you did enjoy this shorter style of video, then please do let me know down below. Or if you prefer for me to go into more depth on topics like this, then let me know that too. But for now, guys, I do hope that you enjoyed the video. I hope that you consider subscribing to the channel, and I really hope to see you in the next one. Later.